Some people have, if you've noticed, like they have to do a lot of stuff to like relax. Like even just relax in their body. They have to do like really hard workouts, or they have to do like really hard yoga. And even then it's like they have to like, it becomes still in the body. It's really challenging. Why? It's because they have all these distortions around not being able to be comfortable or at ease in the body because of all these other different things. You release those distortion patterns, people can like settle in.
Have you seen that in your work?
Yeah, totally. Like people, like they'll say like, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like to get myself to be still, I have to do a lot. And even then it's like, I really have to like work at it. But if you release the distortion, they're like, oh my God, it's so much easier. I'm like, yeah, because you're not resisting your body. You can come into it.
Okay.
So it's not just you. I mean, it is you in the sense that it's your distortion patterns, but it's not like you being lame or like weak. It's just like sometimes you're running these patterns which help prevent you from, really being able to be still in the body, centered, feel comfortable at ease.
So I think we've talked about this before too. Like if you're, working all day, maybe you don't have time to go run or do HIIT classes, but you can still while you're waiting in line, while you're driving, right? Like it's just something you can always come back to. And maybe when you notice you're triggered by something or off your center, that's like a red flag to, let me come back into space and time.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And we're actually giving a GFC called Centering into the Zero Point, which is very specifically to help you bring you into the zero point of space and time. A lot of things can go wrong when we're not centered in, like it's more than feeling off center. It's like people who have a lot of anxiety, the reason they have a lot of anxiety is because literally they're not in the zero point of space and time. They're like way out. So that means that when they render, they're not rendering around the center. They're rendering off. Off center. And the more off center you go, the worse and worse it becomes. The heavier the depression, the more the anxiety, more suicidal or dark thoughts, like possession can start to happen. Like, and some people start to render like really far off center, and it's hard. Like, you have to like pull them back in.
Do you ever have people that are centered in space but completely not in time, or is it typically you're both or none?
That's a really fantastic question. So most people are off both, more than not. Sometimes it's funny. There'll be the thing that slips. Actually, both slip. But your question was, have you seen anybody who is centered in their body but out of time?
Yeah, like some people are really embodied, but they're ahead of time.
Yeah, that can happen.
But maybe a little less rare.
Yeah, it's more rare.
Or more rare,
it's more like, sometimes what they'll be is, they're tied. They're really, really tied together. And I hadn't thought of it that way. But you're right.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, it was a great question. They're mostly out of both. Is typically what happens. It's hard for them. It's if you're doing a time distortion, it's hard for you to be centered in your body.
Right.
Like you'll be in your head.